When it comes to censorship, there's just been a ton of it in the industry over the past couple of years by Sony and Microsoft and Valve. As someone who doesn't support censorship, and as someone who actively thinks about the games that I'm buying and the companies I'm supporting, I try to support as little censorship as possible, and it's definitely made being a gamer rough. I really just want to see developers go wild with their games and create gameplay and stories that are outside of the box, but no one wants to be that company that Sony and Microsoft and Valve won't work with. They are afraid of not getting their games published. They are afraid of getting as little eyes on their games and losing money. They are afraid of that. They do not want to go against these giant companies, and I completely understand why. They need to look out for their bottom line and look out for the people who work for them, and they need to look out for their product. Now, I've covered a lot of censorship that's been forced into fighting games specifically. Dead or Alive 6 had tons of female skins toned down. Mortal Kombat 11's females were garbage. I mean, they were so boring. Their outfits, their character models, so boring compared to their old games and how they used to look. And now we've got some bad news with Ninja Gaiden. So Team Ninja confirms Ninja Gaiden's Master Collection will feature censored version of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. So Team Ninja has confirmed that the version of Ninja Gaiden 2 included in their upcoming Ninja Gaiden Master Collection will be based on the heavily censored PlayStation 3 port of the title Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. In its initial release for the 360 in 2008, Ninja Gaiden 2 originally featured the series' requisite excessive amount of blood and gore, which the first game in the series' next-gen reboot had set as precedent upon its arrival on the original Xbox in 2004. Yet, when the title was eventually ported to the PlayStation 3 in 2009, in the content-upgraded form of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, players soon noticed a drastic change made to the game's aesthetics during its jump from Microsoft's flagship's console to Sony's. I was actually really excited when I heard that they were doing this Master Collection. I haven't gotten a chance to play a Ninja Gaiden game in quite a long time. Ever since I started the YouTube channel, I'm constantly bringing in new games, rotating out older ones, so I don't get to revisit a ton of games, but this collection is supposed to run in 4K, 60 FPS. This sounded pretty promising until we found out that it was the PlayStation 3 version of the game, or of 2 specifically, that was going to be in this collection and not the Xbox version, because upon playing the upgraded port for the first time, players found that Team Ninja had not only near entirely removed every instance of gore from the game, save the occasional splash of minimal red blood, but had replaced most of the game's blood graphics with a nondescript purple mist. At the time, regarding the decision to drastically reduce the amount of violence in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, the game's director and producer explained to Games Radar, each game has its own concept, and with Ninja Gaiden 2, the focus was on extreme violence. But with the game, we really questioned whether violence is a necessity for a game. I don't necessarily think violence is something that should be in every game. I don't think violence is a necessity for a game, but at the same time, this is literally a game where you're hacking and slashing people apart. This is a game where you're a ninja. You are slicing and dicing people, so of course violence is going to be a core aspect of the game. No matter how much blood you remove or how many decapitation animations you remove, it's still a game about violence, so I don't understand this statement at all, how they questioned whether violence is a necessity for this game specifically. But continuing on, considering that Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 also saw limbs sliced off in-game disappear almost immediately after being severed, any instance of dismemberment or dissection removed from its cutscenes in the Japanese version specifically limited decapitations to non-human entities, It's more likely that a second animation for a character outing fell victim to Sony's recently revealed censorship policies regarding certain depictions of violence. I mean, why would you want to censor animations for Ryu, the main character of the game, the protagonist of this title? Why would you want to censor these things away, these cool looking animations, decapitations, blood, violence, all of this is cool stuff. You're not playing this game to play a farming simulator and play a game that, you know, everything's calm and very serene. You're playing a game to chop people in half. So I wanted to head over to this Niche Gamer article on the situation really quickly because they do point out the fact that there are content differences in the Xbox and PlayStation 3 versions of Ninja Gaiden 2. So it says during the original launch on the 360 in 2008, we saw the game continue its tradition of over-the-top blood and dismemberment as players sliced down humanoid and demonic foes. Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma on the PlayStation 3 in 2009, however, featured new content, new playable characters, and improved content, yet censored the blood in favor of purple smoke or energy, and dismemberment could only occur with non-human enemies. So here's the situation. If they use the Xbox version, they're using a version of the game that's missing content, so they decided to go with the PlayStation version that had more content, but at the same time they're choosing a version that's censored. I'm glad they're giving players more options in terms of content and characters and story additions, but we've got to look at the big picture here, which leads me back to a topic I actually discussed in a video recently where let me bring up the article. Sony policy banning dismemberment revealed by CyberConnect 2 CEO in discussion about Demon Slayer. Because if we look at the situation, we know that Sony is forcing developers to censor gore and blood and violence at this point, specifically decapitation, and apparently this has been going on for years, and now all of a sudden, this version of the game that was censored is the one that's being used in this Master Collection. They were kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't with fans, because they'll have people upset if it's a version of the game that's censored, or people that are going to be upset if it's a game that's missing content, but this really backs up the claims made weeks ago that games were being censored as far back as 2008 and 2009. I wanted to very briefly skim through this this article very quickly. According to Hiroshi Matsumaya, Sony's heavily censorious policies extend past sexually suggestive content, as the president and CEO of noted anime video game developer CyberConnect 2 recently revealed that Sony Interactive Entertainment has enforced a similar policy regarding dismemberment and certain depictions of violence. So during a recent online employment seminar held on February 19th, Matsumaya was asked for his insight into developing a game with a lot of blood in the Zero system, specifically in reference to how the company would handle Demon Slayer's gore in the upcoming game, given how violent the original series is compared to other CyberConnect 2 licensed franchises such as Naruto and Dragon Ball. While Matsumaya could not speak to the specific title, instead referring fans to Shonen Jump and the game's official website for more information, he went on to explain that though blood and gore or arms and legs being cut off and that kind of stuff, as you may know, is judged by Zero in Japan, ESRB in the United States, and maybe PEGI in Europe, Sony Interactive Entertainment had their own separate set of policies which developers have to follow in order to see their games released on the company's consoles. What's the point of playing a game if it's not fun? Sony's literally ruining all of the fun with the games on their platforms, forcing censorship into games with sexy characters and violence. Who knows what's next? I'm genuinely worried about the future of gaming with all of these massive companies censoring anything they want, because not enough people, number one, know about how much censorship is being forced into games and even how long it's been happening, but two, not enough people, unfortunately, unfortunately care. They look at a single instance, a single situation happening, and not at the bigger picture. Yeah, one situation might not be a game killer, but we can't keep giving giant companies passes, or else they're going to constantly push the boundaries with their games. I know a lot of people say this phase was only brought on by Sony moving their headquarters to California, which I think made it worse for sure, but we're talking about a case from a game that was in 2009, so clearly they've been in the censorship game for much longer than they've been based in California. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.